Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode number 99. So, this is our Wheel of Wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of 31 books that have been randomly selected out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years in my own journey of self transformation. So, what we do now, now that we are centered, more open, more receptive to receive that higher wisdom from the universe, God, divine, source, consciousness, angels, spirit guides, whatever you believe in. So now that we are more open to receive these messages, we are going to spin this wheel, and this wheel is going to randomly select a book for us. And then we are going to play another game, and then we will do a reading. But for now, before we spin the wheel, I invite you guys to take a moment and think about, like, is there any specific issue or a specific area of your life, in which you would like to receive some guidance, regarding which you would like some clarity or direction. So allow that to come to the forefront of your mind. Or if there is nothing specific, then simply set an intention that may I receive some guidance for today. So once you have thought of something, you can let me know by pressing the heart somewhere here or around your comment. And yeah, once we have some hearts, we will spin the wheel and see what wants to come through for each and every one of us regarding whatever is happening in your life right now. Caitlin says, my intention is, what does Spirit wants me to hear today? I love your openness, Caitlin. Also, beautiful and lovely meditation, friend. I am glad that you enjoyed the meditation, Caitlin. Thank you for sharing your experience. Means a lot. Hi, Celeste. Welcome. So, Celeste would like some guidance to move from grief to a place of joy or peace. Celeste, I'm sending you so much healing, and I hope that you do see a path towards that joy or peace that you desire in your life. So, okay, so let's see what wants to come through from these books. So, whatever you need guidance on, hold that in your mind or hold that intention in your mind as we spin the wheel. Okay, so it is inverted. Let me read it for you guys. So, the book that came for all of us is The Gift of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you are supposed to be and embrace who you are. And this book has been written by Brené Brown. So I'm sure some of you guys might have heard of this book. It is a pretty famous book. So I'm just, opening the book. Give me a second and I will choose some numbers and then we will play the game. Okay, let's see. So let me type the numbers for you guys. And before I type the numbers, I want to remind you guys, or tell anyone who is joining us for the very first time, that you don't need to rush at all. This is not a space to rush and to chase and to do all of those different things. It is a space to pause, to rest, to slow down, and to listen to that voice within, to that inner wisdom. So once I share the names, I would like you guys to see which number are you feeling called to. Take your time and then mention that number in the comment. And I'm not going to choose the number that is at the top, like that is not the criteria. I will go through all your numbers and then choose a number that I am feeling called to based on my intuition. So, in this way, we'll get the best of both. Okay. So, I invite you guys to choose a number between 20 to 65. Let's see some comments. Hi, Lisa. Happy. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm glad that you could join it. I so appreciate that despite being busy, you're making this time to spend, you're making out time to be with all of us. It means a lot. Okay, so we have some numbers. Thank you, Celeste, for choosing another number. Thank you, Pedro, Monica, Caitlin, Suzanne, Lisa, for choosing these numbers for all of us. Thank you, Cami. I'm going to take a sip of water, and until then, if anyone also feels called to a number to share a number, you can do so. Okay, we have a comment. Donna says, as you talked, I found a ring on the floor. It is shaped like a gift box. Accepting the gift of imperfection. Oh, I love that. Oh my God, such alignment. Thank you for sharing, Donna. Ah, I am now excited to see, that specific gift that would come out from this book. Oh, love that. Donna, you are in perfect alignment. Katie says, morning. Good morning, Katie. Okay. Okay, morning coffee. Okay, you're drinking morning coffee. Yeah, I have some water with me. Okay, so now that we have some numbers, let's see which number am I feeling called to. So like the two numbers that I was feeling called to were like very close to each other. So maybe there is like half of the paragraph here or half the paragraph there. But before I reveal the number, again, anyone who is joining for the very first time, I want to let you know that it doesn't really matter whose number I choose. Um, Although sometimes it resonates with them more. But since you are here, you are meant to receive that message that wants to come through. There is something that wants to reach, you at this point in your life, and you are here, you tuned into this live to receive that. So trust that, you know. And hmm, for the fun of it, the number that I am feeling called to is 58 and 59. Kind of like both number are very close, so maybe we'll go with both of them. And the numbers has been chosen by Caitlin and Lisa for all of us. Two of my wonderful souls who joins in regularly. I am I'm so happy that you two both get paired today. Okay, let's see what is on page number 58 and 59. And coincidentally, I just, I was as I was scrolling to see what are the page numbers, I was just at that page number, 58. I don't know if you can like see it or something. Yeah. Okay, it's too like hodgepodge, but yeah. Okay, so let's see what is on page number 58 first. And it okay, so so the heading is scarcity and fear of the dark. And this is like the whole heading on 58 page number. And then on 59th page number is the heading, the subheading scarcity. So maybe we want to, like, the universe wants us to dive into that deeper. And now I understand why the two numbers came up together. So, okay, so let's see what wants to come through. The author says, the very first time I tried to write about what gets in the way of gratitude and joy, I was in sitting on the couch in my living room with my laptop next to me and my research memo journal in my hands. So again, the author was reflecting what exactly gets in the way of, gratitude and joy and even peace, because I think someone mentioned while I was saying, what do you need guidance on, that I want joy and peace. So the author continues, I was tired, and rather than writing, I spent an hour staring at the twinkle lights hanging over the entryway into my dining room. I am a huge fan of those little clear sparkly lights. I think they make the world look prettier. So I keep them I keep them in my house year around. As I sat there flipping through the stories and gazing at the twinkle lights, I took out a pen and wrote this down. Twinkle lights are the perfect metaphor for joy. Joy is not a constant, it comes to us in moments, often ordinary moments. Sometimes we, sorry, sometimes we miss out on the bursts of the joy because we are too busy chasing down extraordinary moments. Okay, why I am smiling is because I have used the exact words and I have created like a course on exactly that, how to find joy in the ordinary moments, how to make the ordinary extraordinary instead of chasing after happiness in some things, in some future, in some goal, And before I continue, since like there is a lot of alignment today, I am going to mention that here in case anyone would like to learn that, in case anyone is seeking that here. So feel free to save this course. The name is The Art of Noticing How to Find Joy, Peace, and Beauty in your daily life. So I have included a lot of tools, a lot of prompts, a lot of exercises, and everything in this particular course. So if you feel called to, you can save this. And on the note of another thing, when the author says that, we miss out on the burst of joy, because we are too busy chasing down the extraordinary moments. We are busy chasing after something, chasing after success, chasing after happiness, or whatever it is that we think we will get once we achieve this, once we get this, once we, do this. So if you also resonate with that kind of a mindset, then I would recommend you taking this particular mini course first before taking on the one that I mentioned about finding joy in your daily life. So this is a 3-day mini course that helps you touch on that mindset and see a different side, to actually see that there is no finish line and you keep on chasing after it, keep on doing things, keep on um, running. So if, that is something that is a part of your current, life pattern, then you can check out this course, which is How to Stop Chasing and Start Living, from Doing to Being. Because right now, most of us are in doing mode rather than in being mode. Like it is not balanced. So, yeah, you can save this if you feel interested. If not, ignore it. Okay. So, now continuing with what the author wrote when she, saw those twinkling lights. Yeah, so sometimes we miss out on the burst of joy because we are too busy chasing down extraordinary moments. Other times we are so afraid of the dark that we don't dare let ourselves enjoy the light. That kind of mindset that if something positive is happening, if everything is going well in our life, then instead of enjoying it, we are like, okay, maybe since this is going so well, there is something, the tables are just going to turn, something bad is just going to happen if I enjoy it, if I be happy in it, if I get satisfied with it, something would happen and things would change. The bad things would come. So, so that's what the author is referring to. A joyful life is not a floodlight of joy that would eventually becomes unbearable. So if you keep on, like, if the twinkling lights, like if there were too much light, then it would also become, unbearable for you. So the author says, I believe a joyful life is made up of joyful moments, gracefully strung together by trust, gratitude, inspiration, and faith. And now let's move on to the next part of this, which was scarcity. So like zooming on the scarcity part. Mm, yeah. So the author says, we are afraid to lose what we love the most, and we hate that there are no guarantees. Wouldn't we all love a guarantee that everything will go fine in our life and whatever we love and cherish will stay with us and nothing bad would ever happen to us? But there are no guarantees. We think not being grateful and not feeling joy will make it hurt less. Kind of like the thinking about if I just lower my expectations, then I would hurt less, or if I lower my standards, it would just hurt less when things don't happen according to them. So if I don't fully enjoy it, if I don't fully cherish it or be happy in this moment, which has all the things that I love, if I am experiencing a happy day or a happy week, whatever it is, then sometimes we feel like, okay, if I start to feel happy about it, something bad would happen. So that is being addressed here, that we think that not being grateful and not feeling joy will make it hurt less. if we don't experience that extreme, maybe, if we just stay here, then it would not be much different from, here. So if something bad happens, it would not be much different. We think that if we can beat vulnerability to the punch by imaging loss, we will suffer less. We are wrong. There is one guarantee. If we are not practicing gratitude and allowing ourselves, so if we are not practicing gratitude and allowing ourselves to know joy, we are missing out on the two things that will actually sustain us during the inevitable hard times. So, like, they can become memories, or even better, when you're going through a hard time, the happy times, the times when you were truly grateful, when you were just soaked in, joy, then those memories, those moments can become a reminder that life is not harsh, life is not full of suffering. It also have some beautiful things to offer to us. Life is beautiful. And when we are going through a hard time, we don't remember that. And if you don't, allow yourself to enjoy the happy moments, how would you have those memories? How would you have those, how would you tap into those memories? Because our memories, that how our memory work is that when we are in a moment and when a very strong emotion is attached to that moment, then it gets stored, it gets stored in our long term memory. So if you are just feeling, if you do not allow yourself to feel fully happy or that full amount of joy, then that memory would not get stored, in that long term. You would forget about it. And then when you're going through a hard time, you would not trust in life. You would not remember that life can be kind, life can be beautiful, and that those negative thoughts and belief would color your perspective at that time, that life is only full of suffering, life is hard, life is harsh, and all of those different things. And it might rob you of that hope, of that light that might have taken you out of that tunnel of darkness, that might have shown you the way, that might have given you the motivation to keep going. So that is all that came to me as I was reading as I was reading this beautiful passage from this book. And if anything is coming up for you as I was reading these lines, or as I was talking about whatever it is I was talking about, whatever I feel called to speak, then you can share that in the comments, because I always say that it's not just that I am the source of wisdom or that these books are the source of wisdom. Anything and, everyone can be a source of wisdom, and we just need to be open. And this is that kind of a space to be open to receive that wisdom from anyone. So if anyone is feeling called to share something, you can do so. And if you gain something valuable out of this particular reading, then, and if you would like to support me, then you can do so by making a small donation of whatever, the amount never matters. It's always, you know, I always see every contribution of yours like a drop, that causes a ripple of kindness. And that ripple touches many, many, many people that you might never, that we might never know, that we might never imagine. So, yeah, so that's what I, do with every donation that I get. I keep that aside and I use that to create resources for anyone who might need it in their hard time, to, offer some other gifts or free offerings that I have, which I cannot share here. But yeah, you know, so they further touch those individuals that need the support. So yeah, if you feel called to join the circle of compassion, then you can make a small donation. And if not, then that's completely all right. There is no pressure here. You can always just support me in other ways. You can listen to my content, leave a review, and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, and let's now move on to the next reading. And before I do that, if any of you, are wondering what are the other things that I offer, then like I cannot mention that here, but you can always check that out yourself. You can go to the about section here, and yeah, you can find like my offerings of free gifts and stuff like that here. Okay, so now it's time for the next reading. And I hope Lisa and Caitlin, this reading maybe resonated with you at some level, or maybe with someone else as well, because it's always about, receiving those messages that wants to reach every one of us. So now, again, if you have anything specific regarding which you would like some guidance, bring that to the forefront of your mind as I spin the wheel. Caitlin says, loving it, yes, soaking it all in. Uh, I'm glad that you are letting it sink deeper into your heart, Caitlin. And thank you, Lisa, for that heart. Thank you, Pedro, for that magical star emoji. Okay. So, again, okay, bring that, whatever it is that you need guidance on, to your mind. And let's spin. It is so amazing. I don't know. I'm saying something like beautiful is happening here today. So the book that came up for us out of the all the 31 books is another book by Brené Brown, and the name of this book is Daring Greatly. So how the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way we live, love, parent and lead. Oh God, okay. Another beautiful book by Brené Brown. Let's see what wants to come through this book. So I'm just opening the book and we have some comments. um, KD says, yes, good reading. Many folks have a self belief they are undeserving of real joy or that other people should have a happy life as a way of putting those people on some sort of measure of higher social value. Exactly, thank you for bringing that up, that belief. So there is this, so there are certain core beliefs that we all have, and I am unworthy or I am undeserving of joy, of success, of happiness, of peace, whatever it is that you believe, that is one of the very main core beliefs. And it can manifest in different ways. So maybe you don't like very resonate with these very three words that I'm unworthy or I'm undeserving, for example, of earning this much money. Okay. But if I ask you, whatever your goal is, if I ask you that imagine yourself earning double the amount of that goal, then some of you might notice if you really imagine, think, whatever your goal for, for earning this much money monthly or annually. So bring that to the goal, bring that goal to your mind, and now double the amount, or even better, triple the amount. And now see Do you feel excited about earning that much, or do you feel like a little resistance within you? Like something like is pulling you, is stopping you, is like, no, 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 that doesn't feel right. If the latter is the case with you, then you do have some belief around this undeserving, category, around this unworthy, or maybe there are certain other beliefs because of which you are like, no, I'm feeling this resistance when I think about earning that much. So, yeah. And if you would like some help in terms of, uncovering those limiting beliefs, I have a resource for you if you are interested in checking it out. And if not, then that's all right as well. You can ignore it. I just put it here in case anyone, is interested in that. So I have this course known as Master Your Mindset by Identifying Your Limiting Beliefs. So there are certain limiting beliefs like I'm undeserving, I'm unworthy, or maybe some other belief that came up for you when you thought of earning triple the amount that is your goal. So that belief, so just like this, I have like m- multiple tools, everything that I knew of to uncover, all these limiting beliefs, everything got to know from my own journey, from my knowledge of psychology, everything I have put into this course. So if you are interested in uncovering them, becoming aware of them, because once we become aware of them, they are no longer, in the background and we are the puppets of those beliefs. Once we uncover them, we have the choice to choose whether do I want to act according to them, whether do I not want to. So if you feel called to, you can save this course. Until then, I'm reading another comment. Let's see. Lisa says, when we feel like we are unhappy, it's always a good thing to write down everything we are grateful for. That will make us feel happy. Exactly. So it's not about, overriding your negative emotions. I never advocate for that. But yeah, finding gratitude is, it's not about, painting a positive picture. It's more about having a wholesome perspective, having a 360-degree perspective of that situation. So maybe you're just focused on this much, which usually happens. So there is like this research. I'm not remembering the name of the person who did it, but the research in positive psychology discovered that when we are feeling a negative emotion, what happens is that our attention, narrows, and our attention is like this much, just like, you know, um, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, it's narrowed. Okay, while when we are feeling positive emotion, it's like a perspective and our view is like very expansive, and we are like we have a very expanded peripheral vision as well. Um and based on that this very concept, actually, I created technique, coping strategy, to help you feel more regulated if you are feeling a negative emotion. Let me see if I have put it here. Yeah, this one. So, this is a technique based on this particular research and some other ones that help you shift from that state so that you just your attention is not just narrowed but it is widened. And that's what that gratitude practice also helps us. It helps us to have that whole perspective that yes, this is going wrong, 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 which you are already focused on, but this is also going right. This is, I'm grateful to have this even in this moment. So yeah, I love that. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing that. And this is by far, in all the years of my study of psychology, in all the years of my own work or transformation, everything, this, gratitude journaling is the kind of the best and the simplest tool that I have came across. So yeah, if you don't do that, maybe it's worth a try. And many, many, many researches have been done around that. That if you do this and if you are depressed, it helps with that. And I do not remember the exact time, but it reduces that. So there are multiple benefits of it. I cannot name them and I don't remember all of them as well. But yeah, thank you, Lisa, for mentioning that. And KD says, love Brené Brown. My profile quote says, authenticity is a daily practice. Ah, then KD, you were meant to be here. You were meant to receive all these reminders again from her work. Okay, so now coming to the reading, the last reading for today from this book, which is Daring Greatly. Thank you for the heart, Katie and Lisa. Okay, give me a second to choose some numbers, then we will play the game. Hmm. Okay. So, anyone who maybe just joined us, I want to let you know that in a moment I am going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers. And I don't want you guys to rush at all. So take your time and see which number are you feeling called to. And then I will randomly choose a number amongst, your numbers in the comments that I am feeling called to. Okay. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 25 to 160. Here you go. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Katie. So, okay. So let's go with numbers that are in the comments and see which number am I feeling called to. Thank you, Alejandro. Okay. So before I mention the number that I'm feeling called to, I want to let anyone know who is joining for the very first time that it doesn't matter whose number I choose. If you're here, if you're listening to this or to the recording of this, you were meant to receive the message that is going to come through. Okay. So, with that in mind, the number that I am feeling called to is 89, and the number has been chosen by Katie for all of us. Today, like the number that are coming up for me are from the people who are usually in my lives. I am glad for that, especially since we are nearing, especially this, like the next episode is going to be my 100th episode of Wheel of Wisdom. Exactly. Wow, Wheel of Wisdom. So, yeah, I am so happy that, I am feeling more called to the numbers by the regular people, like the ones that are more frequent. Although it is not intentional at all, it's just what's happening. And I so value anyone who is joining for the very first time. I'm glad that you gave this a chance and you decided to tune in. And I'm hoping that you're receiving something out of this. And I will see you maybe in the next one, on the 100th one. And since I mentioned that, maybe let me like put it up here. And until then, I will like catch on to that page. So 89. Let's see what is on page number 89. So the heading for this is Daring Greatly, Setting Boundaries, Finding True Comfort, and Cultivating Spirit. So the author says, when I interviewed the research participants, whom I would describe as living a wholehearted life about numbing, they consistently talked about three things. Numbing meaning basically we are trying to numb our emotions so that we don't feel them. Okay, so that we are no longer feeling that discomfort if it is a negative emotion. And even with the positive ones that we see, how we kind of numb them by thinking that, yeah, let's not enjoy this moment, otherwise something bad will happen. Okay, so here are the three things that, those people who, according to the author's research, were living a wholehearted life said about numbing. The first thing is learning how to actually feel their feelings. Second, staying mindful about numbing behaviors. And they struggle too, it is mentioned. So, yeah, mindfulness is a day to day practice. And third is learning how to lean into the discomfort of hard emotions. So, let me share. Okay, let me share the resources that I have for this one and then go back to the reading. So the first thing that the author mentioned here, like learning to how to actually feel your feelings and also how to lean in into the discomfort of hard emotions. Okay. So I already have something for you guys if you would like to learn how to do that. Because I also am an aligned life coach, and that is what I help people with to cultivate a life that is aligned, with their deepest desires. And we do not get to feel, we do not get to feel deeply fulfilled or have a life that is true to us if we are not in connection with ourselves, if we are numbing, all these emotions and stuff. So, so this is the course in which, in the last lesson specifically of this particular course, which is a therapist's guide to accepting life's difficult situations. So, in the last lesson of this, I have guided you all, like I have a guided practice there to help you learn how to feel your feelings, how to sit with your emotions, how to, let them be without getting overwhelmed by them, without drowning in them, without feeling even worse in them. Because feeling your feelings is not about thinking, how why me, this it doesn't mean thinking keep on thinking about that situation. It is something different. And when you will learn how to do that, your relationship with your emotions, your relationship with yourself will transform. So that, that will help you learn how to feel your feelings and how to lean towards your hard emotions. And sometimes, what happens is that you're too overwhelmed to, to even like practice anything healthy for that matter, to be to e- you know to even think about, getting in touch with your emotions. So in that state it is not recommended to do that practice. So if you have, if you start to feel overwhelmed, or if you are feeling already overwhelmed, because before we even get to the emotions, we have like this whole story that is going on in our head. and it keep on, increasing the intensity of our emotions, and we reach like this higher intensity of that particular difficult emotion, and at that moment it feels kind of impossible to even turn toward that emotion, because we are like, we will be swept away by that emotion. So in that case, I also created like a playlist with all the regulation technique, just like the one that I shared with you guys here, which was called Soft Eyes. So there are like various different coping strategies, emotion regulation techniques, whatever you call it, self-soothing techniques that therapists or coaches recommend their client to settle themselves, to stay, to get grounded, centered, to regulate their fight, flight, freeze states. So if you would like to, try those strategies for yourself and see if something works for you, if you resonate with one practice even more and you're like, okay, I want to do this. So yeah, if you want to try those out, then you can again go to my profile on Insight Timer, Anisha Maheshwari, and you can scroll all the way down on the home page. So when you scroll all the way down, you will see a playlist here, self-soothing techniques. So in this, I have included all those techniques. So I would recommend first doing them if you're feeling overwhelmed, and then going to feeling and processing your emotions. Okay. Um, because sometimes we use, like, for example, deep breathing or techniques like that to get rid of the emotion. Again, it's about numbing your emotion. And that do not lead to a fulfilling life. That do not lead to a wholehearted life, or whatever you call it. And that is something, that was one of the insights that I got in my journey. And that is something that I, psychoeducate my clients with, that you cannot numb your emotion then and then expect to have a full life, to have a rich and, fulfilling life. So yeah, so if you want to learn all of that, you can go to this. And the second point the author mentioned, that these people also mentioned, which are living a wholehearted life according to her research, was staying mindful about numbing behaviors. So basically, even though you are trying all of this, sometimes you will go back to your old pattern. For example, my numbing behavior is that whenever I'm feeling like discomfort and all of that, fear, maybe anxiety, whatever it is, I, distract myself or try to numb those emotions by going to watch TV, or by going like scrolling, the reels or the shorts and stuff like that. So, so yeah, that is my numbing behavior. And it's not that I am always able to apply the healthy strategies. So you do not need to shame yourself if you're not able to. But the very first step towards that is to first become aware of those strategies. So in that course that I just mentioned, I already have like another lesson in that to help you. I have named those strategies and different things that people go to. They are like their go to numbing strategies that you can see if you also follow some of them. And if you want to develop the basic skill, to be able to bring any form of change in your life, then that skill is mindfulness. Basically, being aware of the patterns that you have, and the most important thing, once you become aware of those patterns, to remember to pause, to so when you are getting triggered, when you are in the situation at that moment, you know, mindfulness help you to take a pause and to decide, do you want to repeat your old pattern or do you want to try this new one? So if you want to, learn, if you want to cultivate that skill, then I have mentioned another resource that I've created. Uh, okay, it's nice. It's like that's what I was saying today. A lot of alignment is happening. So whatever is coming through, I already have a resource on that. So yeah, so in this course, I have included some tips, some tools, some prompts, and all of those different things, and my own story with mindfulness, meditation, um, to help you not only, develop the skill in terms of doing a meditation practice where you are sitting in a quiet room in a lotus posture and with your eyes closed and stuff like that. But also when you're going through your life, like your real life in terms of this physical world, so you also need to, so mindfulness is not just about this, sitting here. It's about living a mindful life where you are aware, where you are, not operating on that autopilot mode, on your default mode, but you are taking intentional actions, you're making intentional choices, and you're deciding which patterns, do I want to continue with, which patterns do I want to leave, and to remember to do that in the moment, in the situation. So if you want to learn, then you can try this particular course to develop your mindfulness skill. And if you do not have the premium, then I also have like a playlist for you guys, which has all the free tracks. So again, and on my profile, which is Anisha Maheshwari, in the homepage only, as you scroll down, you will see, so I showed you the self-soothing techniques, but above it here is mindfulness meditation challenge. So it includes not only the, foundational practices to develop mindfulness, to cultivate that skill so that you can apply it in your life, but also it has like, some starting lessons about how it can help you. Because usually we're like, okay, I'm meditating, I'm focusing on my breath, my mind goes somewhere, I come to it. But how is it going to help me in my real life, in my, this life? Then I have included like how, to help you understand exactly how is the connection getting made and how it is impacting your life. So yeah, you can, check that playlist out if you don't have a subscription. But I would recommend, getting one because then you will get access to like I don't know 500 plus courses and all of like that premium stuff. So yeah. Okay. So let's see, going back to the reading if there is anything else. Yeah, so the author mentions, so these 3 points: feel your feelings, stay mindful about the numbing behaviors, and to learn how to lean into the discomfort of hard emotions. The author says, this all made perfect sense to me, but I wanted to know exactly how you lean into anxiety and disconnection. So I started interviewing people about this question specifically. As I expected, there was more to it. These folks had elevated enough to these folks had elevated enough to whole new levels. Yes, they practiced mindfulness, again, what I just mentioned, and leaning, but they also set serious boundaries in their life. So, another aspect that you can, incorporate in your own life. So, as I asked more pointed questions about the choices and behaviors wholehearted men and women made to reduce anxiety, they explained that reducing anxiety meant paying attention to how much they could do and how much was too much, and learning how to say enough. They got very clear on what was important to them and when they could let something go. So that is another thing that happens, to decide your boundaries, to decide when to say enough, to decide when to push through, to decide. And all of this also, boils down to, first of all, having the clarity of what is important to you in your life. Because usually we go about in our life, and that's what I talked about, I talk about in my course, which is, yeah, s- okay, so that's what I talked about in another series of mine on Insight Timer, which I did, I guess, in December of last year, which was about 6 things that you need to know to create a deeply fulfilling life. Okay. And one of those things, that what the base or the source is, that in order to set boundaries, in order to know, how much is enough and what to go for, what to not, you need to have the clarity as to what is really important to you. What is it that you deeply, deeply value? So, it boils down to your values and to what would fulfill your heart truly, not what the society says, not what your parents says, not what your partner says, but what would fulfill your heart. And yeah, and that's something I help, women discover how to create that life by learning, by getting clarity on what is it that their heart deeply wants, what would fulfill them truly. Um, Okay, so I think this is the end of this live. Is of this live, sorry. Um, but yeah, if you would like to learn more about me, if you would like to explore more after this live, then you can, as I mentioned, you can always go to the about section, read more what I do, how I do, what is my background, and you can check out all my other offerings, like the gifts, like all the different offerings that I have here as well. And, um, and I also wanted to share with you guys, okay, let me see. Yeah, so there is a comment here. KD says, yes, getting to the clarity of what's important to you in your life. I love how you, wrote it in all caps, like important to you, not to anyone else, and in your life, because it is your life. It is not anyone else's life to decide what you should do, what you should not do, what should be important to you, what is important for your happiness, what is important for you to feel successful. It is for you to decide. So Katie continues, you are giving yourself permissions to be the adult human you want and need to be. I love that. I love this particular comment, Katie. It just so resonates with me. Yeah, okay, so let me walk you guys through, what all I offer on Insight Timer so that if you have any, if something resonates with you, you can check that out after the live and you can dive in more and give yourself whatever it is that you need at this moment or at this phase of your life. So I will like quickly walk you through it, and I would appreciate if you can just stay for maybe 5 more minutes and see if something resonates with you. Mhm. Okay. So, what you can do is when you go to my profile, you will see different sections. Okay. Any teacher's profile for that matter on Insight Timer. So you will see homepage, tracks, courses, events, and about section where like the teachers write a little bit about themselves and they have a link to like their other offerings as well. So going to the homepage, when you will scroll down, you will see like any live event. So my next event is day after tomorrow, and it is quite a special event because it is my 100th episode of this Wheel of Wisdom series. Like in the last month, we celebrated 100th live, episodes, but this is for this particular series. And we just started January. I am so, so, grateful that um, we reached these many episodes so soon. And I was able to show up in this consistent manner because of you guys, because you guys just pour in so much love and encourage me. And, and when you share how you get touched by these lives or how you're trying to rearrange things in your life to attend this live, it just, it is beyond words. I'm just speechless, and just so deep gratitude for you all. Yeah, so I would love to have each and every one of you celebrate this special day with me. Okay, so continuing with the walkthrough of my profile. So yeah, when you scroll down, you will see like the latest tracks that get released. So this is the latest one that got released today itself. And this is if you believe that you are not good enough. So this is a very small track. And if you have this belief that I'm not good enough or I'm not enough in some way, then, you know, I would really like to hear your experience of this track, like how you find it, did it help you feel that reassurance, or did it help you have a different perspective of the things, of your current situation, of yourself? So, yeah, you can check this out. And like these are all the other tracks that got released. This was last week, which is Dear Knows Thank You. So basically, it is a part of this series where we pay attention to each part of our body and we give gratitude. We give, we appreciate that part, and we, give healing to that part if that part needs that. Yeah. So, like, as I'm saying, this is a part of series. So, like, all the series that I do, you can find all of them here in the playlist. So, this is like the body series that I mentioned, gratitude and healing for your body. This is the mindfulness one. This is self soothing techniques. And there is this chakra series as well. And the final playlist that I have for you is Wheel of Wisdom Meditations, which basically involves all the meditations that have been published so far from this Wheel of Wisdom series. Because as I mentioned, we do one meditation in each live. And if it doesn't belong to a series, then it goes into this playlist. So I try to organize like all my tracks, all my content in the form of these playlists so it is easier for you guys to navigate through it. Yeah, and below that, all of it, you will see a group here, which is Wonderful Beings. So it is my little community on Insight Timer. And if you guys joined late this, in this live, or if you would like to check out what we did in previous lives, then what I do is that after each of these lives, when they end within like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I post a summary of that live in that group. So I mentioned the type of meditation that we did, the name of the book, the readings that we did, so that you don't miss out on anything. And sometimes people are like visual learners and they like to read about it rather than just listen in the live. So yeah. And I also post updates there, like if a new track is getting released, gets released, or if a new live event, or if a live event gets cancelled, because sometimes it happens out of because of the reason that I'm not in control of. So I update that there. So it is a way for you to stay updated and to stay connected with me. Yeah, so I would love to have each and every one of you in that group if you feel called to join. And if not, then you can simply follow me to get notified, about the live events or the new tracks that are getting released, because like around one or two tracks get released every week. And yeah, and if you guys have enjoyed this live so far, then I would invite you to support my work, to support my journey, and to help me help others by making a contribution of whatever amount that you feel called to, if you are able to. Then you can make a donation, and that donation goes in terms of, creating more content, creating more resources, and creating more free stuff that I offer here as well as, other places, so that you can have the support that you need, so that everyone can have that support that they need in that difficult time they're going through. So if you want to join the circle of compassion, if you want your contribution to be a drop in that pool and create ripples, then you're welcome to make a donation. And if not, or if you're not able to, but if you want to, you can always listen to my content, and especially like my premium content, because that also really supports me and helps me continue. Thank you so much, Vikari, for this amazing, beautiful gesture. I am so very touched. And thank you so much for your support. Really, it means a lot. And I also see you like listening to my content and leaving reviews. I always feel so excited when I have a review and I'm like, okay, what experience did you had and stuff like that. So thank you so much. Thank you, Katie, for this beautiful donation. I'm glad that something from this live, resonated with both of you. And I hope that this beautiful, loving, and abundance energy that you're sending my way, it ripples back and touch all the different areas of your life and provide you whatever it is that you need and that you deeply desire. Thank you, both of you. Um, yeah, okay, let's see. I have few comments. Um, Donna says happy. I am happy that you're happy, Donna. Lisa says, I love attending your lives, Anisha. Oh, I know that, Lisa, and I was a little sad because he would not be able to attend it because of other commitments. But I was happy. I was like really touched when you mentioned that you would really try to attend on the weekends. It meant a lot to me, Lisa. Really. Um, Lisa says, since I'm working all week, I cannot attend during the week. And Lisa, you know where to find the replays and everything. So you can always play the replays. And and if you guys don't know, um, then if you want some like additional things, if you want to know about my additional offerings and stuff like that, then again you can go to like the about section, scroll, read about me if you want to, and you can find all the other stuff here, you know. Okay, let's see. KD says, I will be at a morning workshop for work, so will pop in for about first minutes. So sending many blessings for your brilliant celebration. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. I really appreciate that, despite your commitment and despite that workshop, you are going to spend that initial minute with me. It means a lot. You guys are so lovely. I just sometimes cannot believe this level of, you know, love. I am, thank you. Okay. Donna says, I'm unhappy, but wishing you a happy 100th. Oh, why are you unhappy, Donna? Would you like to share with us? And if not, that's okay. You can like always just, if you want a more, secure space, you can like, even this is also like very safe space. But yeah, you can always message me or just leave a comment in the group. Okay, Donna says the world is a bit intimidating. I can feel that, the world can be too much sometimes. It is, and it can feel heavy, But with you sharing this light, it makes the world a little lighter. It makes the world a little better, Donna. And I'm happy to have you here on this planet, in this live. I am glad that Dana says it cheers me to see you. Thank you. Same here. I'm happy to have each and every one of you here. I know sometimes, when we're going through a hard time, it feels so difficult and we feel so small and all these different emotions comes up and it makes us believe that we can't make it, that we can't do it. But you have made through all the hard times before, and some parts of you who believed, who hoped, who are childish still are here with you. So the world was not the world was not able to change all of that. And you will have these parts with you as you continue your journey. So I hope that in those moments something happens, something magical happens, unexpected happens that brings a smile to your face, that brings lightness to your heart, that makes you feel, wrapped in that beautiful cocoon, that makes you feel enough. I guess, that was my very intention because, when I am going through a hard time and when I went through, a lot of hard time before, all I needed was some like soothing words. And that's why I decided to start a series, that I have that you guys saw the first track of, that if you feel you are not enough. I want to cover every single thought that you guys have and to make you feel like you're not alone in that moment. And I hope that it stays with you, in that moment, that you don't feel alone. Um, yeah, so I'm sending you a lot of love, Donna, and everyone here. And some healing and light if that's what you need right now. And I see and I hope that you see your own light, that how much you matter. Uh, Katie says, yes, Donna, there is a lot now. Let's have this moment here with each other. Love, love this community supporting each other, all the hearts. I'm just so blessed to be here. I'm really grateful to have you all, to have this platform inside Timer, to be able to do so, to connect with you from all over the world. Ah, thank you. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. Lisa says, love is surrounding you, Donna. Yeah, and maybe all of us in that same circle of love that you're extending to Donna. Hmm. Okay. So, yeah, it has been like more than, 1 hour, 30 minutes or so. So, I guess it's the right time to wrap this up. And don't forget to attend my next live, which is day after tomorrow, to celebrate that special occasion with me. I'm going to like tweak the format a little bit and try to add some surprise elements and things. And for now, once we end the live, feel free to open my profile, explore the courses, the tracks, the playlist, or, my other offerings through the About section of my profile. So, yeah, bye bye. I will see all of the amazing people that you are day after tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Take care.